just take a quick moment to introduce Shannon Good, and she's a partner for Good Marketing Group, and she's going to run this webinar today. And as all of the attendees, you've been muted, and if you have any questions, you can type them in or you can raise your hand. And also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on the HPBA website probably by tomorrow or possibly on Monday. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shannon, and thank you so much for doing this for our members, and looking forward to it.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Good to see you guys. I'm hoping everybody's having a good summer and looking forward to a productive and profitable Hearth season. I'm hoping that, as many of you may have been in some of my classes before at Expo or MAPA, just wanted to let you know that my goal is to hopefully teach you at least one new thing today when we're going through some experiences that have been successful for other hearth dealers, and just maybe even just something new that you might want to try. So feel free to, like Emily said, just type in any questions that you have along the way, and I will definitely give it time at the end to answer any questions. And I'm also available for follow-ups, later if anybody wants to continue any conversation about one of the parts that we talk about. So it's interesting. I've been working in the hearth industry for over 15 years, and one of the things is that, oh no, I don't want to sell online. It's just, there's no way. How can you sell a fireplace online? But right now, especially now after COVID, there's just so many new opportunities, especially with your website, to help convert leads to sales, and to also be as a good resource on your website for your sales staff when they're trying to develop relationships with your prospective customers and even your current customers who might be interested in purchasing something new. So we're gonna look into it, and first of all, let's talk about what is a sales conversion. There's actually 4 steps to this, and as you can see from the funnel here, the largest part is that first part, the awareness. Awareness is basically advertising, various forms of advertising, but please keep in mind that in these days and times, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be almost everywhere, but that doesn't mean that it has to break the bank for you as well. So just keep in mind that you want to have a presence and be relevant out there in advertising, traditional advertising, online advertising, social media. You want to be able to come up in the search results for your optimization, which we'll talk about, as far as your website is concerned, as well as paid advertising, if that works for you. And then also, most importantly, email communications. And then don't forget direct mail. It is great for the hearth industry, and it can be very targeted. And we'll talk about that later as well also. Then the next, once you've kind of made your target audience aware of who you are and what you offer, then we jump into the interest stage. And the interest stage is really more on your target audience. It's them actually showing some type of interest, quote unquote, because they've been made aware of something that is of interest to them. So during this stage, you want to just make sure that you use any kind of, in any of your messaging or anything on your website, use closed-ended questions rather than open-ended questions during a sales call or in your forms, because this really helps the customer clearly understand what you're offering to them. And in this stage, just on your website, you might want to include, or for the prospective customer, they'll be filling out a form. A chat is a great way to kind of see what a sales conversion or lead to that sales conversion, and also obviously a call or an email. Then we're getting into and really funneling into the third stage, which is decision. I like to say this is like the bridge between interest to sales. You've got somebody who now is interested after they've kind of, this is like the qualifying stage. And really kind of also for your sales staff, this is the opportunity for them to build relationships, to customize projects, and to communicate with the target audience, with the prospective customer, so that you can easily move them into that final stage, which is the sales stage. And a sales stage is is the conversion. So you'll hear me say sales and it actually means conversion, but all of this is converting from one stage to the next. But the sales stage is when you have something in writing, a signed proposal, a scheduled appointment on the books, on the calendar, a financial transaction, if that's what you want to offer on your website for different kinds of products. And by the way, you don't always have to actually have a financial transaction with all of your products on a website. Your website can actually identify whether it is a product that can be sold through a merchant services, or maybe the conversion or the sale is that they're filling out a form, like a requesting a quote or scheduling an appointment. So we'll dive into more examples of that as we go through. So then, obviously, the next question is, well, what is the magic formula for a conversion? It depends on you. It depends on what you see as a conversion. A lot of times people, majority of you would say, well, conversion is obviously if I get money in my hand or in my bank account. Others may say, well, no, a conversion for me is a scheduled appointment. When it comes to advertising, a lot of it is also keep in mind, if a current customer refers a friend, or a conversion is that you see that there's some type of engagement or on a social media post, or if they share a social media post. And obviously another type of conversion would be customers actually coming in the door into your showrooms. So in this conversation today, we're talking about though, how can you use your website to make these sales, to make these conversions? And anybody who will you might have other marketing companies who might say something different, but we believe that your website is your most important marketing tool. Everything should always go to the top of the pinnacle of the triangle, in which is your website. Many companies feel that, oh, I don't need a website. I'm going to actually use Facebook as my website. The search engines actually give more credit to a website than they do to a social media profile. So make sure that you want to make sure that your website is actually your most important marketing tool, that everything else leads to that and is promoting and directing people to that website. So a conversion rate percentage is the number of sales divided by the number of visitors. Sales can be replaced, as we just talked about, as to whatever you feel that you want to use as a measure of conversion. It could be that there's clicks from a Google ad, or it could be that a form is filled out, or an actual phone call to a unique phone number could be considered a conversion. And this applies to traditional advertising as well. If you have an ad out there in a house and home magazine or some type of print advertising, try to use some type of unique landing page or where people can go to, and if they go to that page, they only see an offer or promotion that is unique to that advertising source. So that's a good way to identify if it was successful. When it comes to seeing the analytics on your site, I'm hoping all of you have, and if you don't, go to your web developer or IT person and say, I need Google Analytics on my website. Google Analytics is such a great tool, and it's free, and it monitors all type of tracking, whether it's conversions from these forums or your online advertising, or it tracks page views. Where did the customer come to when they came to your site, or prospect come to when they came to your site? And do they jump around to other pages after going to the initial page? What type of keywords did they bring up when they were searching for, and when they were initially searching, and then how they got to your site? And this is such great information because you can use this information then in your future advertising as well. It also tracks engagements by what's your most popular days that people come to your site, the times of the day. You'd be surprised how many people come to your site anywhere from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. It's just, that's what, some people, it works in their lifestyle to do that. So you want to be present and you want to be relevant in the search results. It also tracks what's called bounce rate. If somebody comes from an advertising source to your website, but then immediately jumps back out, then obviously they weren't going to the place that they were hoping to get the information they wanted. So if you have a high bounce rate, like in this example here, you'll see 76% you kind of want to make sure that you stay below 50% in your bounce rates. So let's go a little bit more in detail and give some examples of each of these 4 stages. And like I said, awareness is going to be a little bit more encompassing than as we go down and kind of narrow in. We're kind of qualifying as we go down. So the sales conversion for awareness, as we said before, in advertising is you want to make sure that your website is secure. So again, website's most important. If you go and go to your website and you see up at the top on your web address that HTTP does not have an S on it, it is not secure. And you need to do that. And that helps you in your search results actually, because these search engines, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, tend to, not always, but most of the time, bring first the site that is a secure site over a site that is not a secure site in the search results organically. So definitely want to talk with your web developer. If you don't have that secure, that S at the end of your HTTP, and ask, how can I get a secure certificate for my site? Also, you want to make sure mobile responsive, not mobile friendly. It's not mobile friendly anymore because there are just so many different devices and so many different sizes. So one website that adjusts like an accordion to whatever device it's being viewed. However, since COVID, more people have actually been on their desktops because they're working from home more. So don't negate your desktop view and say, oh, it looks better on mobile. Make sure that it looks good in all forms. On tablets, sometimes tend to be a little more difficult, especially if it is on the landscape side of the tablet when it's turned, not as it's being viewed here, but turned to the side. So just make sure that your web developer is sure, and you just go onto your website and play in different pages on different devices and make sure it looks good, because you want to have a good first impression when somebody's on your website. Also, enhance engagement when it comes to your website and functionality. Add videos. Your manufacturers have some great resources out there, great videos, and the search engines love videos. So reach out to them. If you have a product like a grill that is being featured on your website, then add in there the video that goes with it. People love to watch videos. But even more so, and we'll talk about this a little later in stage 3, in the decision stage, get in front of the video, get in front of your cell phone and make your own videos. Have your sales staff make their own videos, explain why they like certain products. It shows authenticity. It also makes that connection when somebody comes into, whether it's your service team, when they come into their a customer's home for a service appointment, that person is familiar. Or when they come into your showroom and they see your sales staff because they watched a video and they're like, oh yeah, I saw you, I watched the video that you had. It's just, you build a little bit of trust right out of the gate. That's the first great step in the development of your relationship for your sales staff. So if you're shy, then put the phone in front of your product that you're talking about and do a voiceover over it. And don't be worried that you're gonna sound awkward or shaky in your voice. I do presentations all the time and I can still even hear some shakiness in my voice right now. It's okay. That shakiness means you're human, and that being human makes you more approachable and more relatable when your prospect comes in and wants to talk to you about spending thousands of dollars in your store. So, and trust that you're the expert on the product as well. So just pretend that your phone is your customer when they come into your showroom, and just talk to your phone like you would talk to a customer face to face, and make that video because that's awesome for awareness. Also, just make sure that your online profiles, your online reputation have been claimed and are up to date. There are so many out there. Best thing to do is search for your company and then go through every link for the first page, maybe 2 pages. Claim as many as you can find. You do not have to pay to claim certain profiles. So for example, obviously your Google My Business needs to be always up to date, especially if you have any new COVID policies, new hours of operation, new policies that have to do with when somebody comes into the showroom, or maybe you're doing a virtual consultations. Include these in your online directory profiles. Bing and Yahoo tend to pull from Google My Business, but you just want to make sure when you go onto Bing, your profile on Bing, that it is up to date. It is actually exactly what you have in Google. YP.com, any of the yellow page directory profiles, you don't have to pay for to claim it. You're not paying for an advertising campaign. You're just updating your free information like you did, like what used to be the book directory information, but for free. Your Angie's List, Home Advisor, House, and even any local or trade directories. And I don't have it listed in here, but definitely your Better Business Bureau as well. You want to make sure that you have that information up to date. And if you haven't been seen my reviews presentation, make sure, shoot me an email and I'll be glad to send it over to you. This is a great thing that most people find that they can apply the next day to their business, as well as to with their sales team. Answer all reviews, bad and good. You are writing the review, the reply to the review, or even if it's just 5 stars and no comments, for the third party. The third party is that prospective customer who is being made aware of who you are and what you offer. And they want to know, should I use you? Should I choose you? And when they see that you are answering all positive reviews as well as bad, I have a lot of people who I know out there only answer the bad. No, answer the good too, and make it personal. Include the person's name. If you remember them when they came in, ask your sales staff, who is this person and what was so unique about them? And maybe include something, a little unique, that they know that it's not just an auto-generated reply every time. That's part of this awareness step, because it does help identify your brand, who you are, who your sales staff is, and the experience that the prospective customer is going to have with your company. And of course, social media. Social media is great whether you go on to Facebook or not. No matter what the political environment is or anything else, your prospective customer is probably there. And if they're not, they may be on Instagram, or maybe they're on both. Maybe they're just on Twitter. Maybe they don't care about any social media at all. But when they do a search, then you need your Google My Business to be up to date. Google Plus used to try to be like Facebook. There is no Google Plus anymore. So if you have a G with a plus on it as an icon on your website, tell your web developer, get it off. There is no Google Plus anymore. What is now your Google My Business? And actually it's unique because you have the opportunity to post exactly what you put on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Yelp. You can put it also on your Google My Business, and it actually acts kind of like the same type of social platform. 78%, remember in the messaging and your social media presence in your posts, 78% of consumers post-COVID think that the brand should help them in their daily lives. So if it's helping them in their daily lives, remember that when you are creating your posts. It's something that they need, what's in it for them, not what's in it for you, but what's in it for them. If you're showing a picture of a recent project, tell them what that project, how that might look good, in that third party, that prospective customer's home. And if they have, let's say, for example, an old fireplace, builder grade fireplace, and they're tired of the mess of using wood, then to contact, and you have a picture of a gas fireplace, then to contact your company so you can tell them all the benefits of converting from wood to gas. So that's one idea in staying in the forefront. Some other ideas might be, tax credits. So the tax credit is still available right now. Different fuel types we talked about, events, recipes. HPBA is a great source of information that you can share posts from HPBA or some of your manufacturers, what they offer as well. Show pictures of, you jump onto kind of the bandwagon of the different types of days. Like on Thursday, Throwback Thursday is a perfect day to show a before and after of a project that you already completed. Maybe it's a featured fireplace Friday, where you actually put out there, a new fireplace that you have installed in your showroom that you want to show off, or a video. So those are all great opportunities to post. You should be posting at least once a week just to stay competitive with maybe your other competitor dealers out there. But it also, people don't realize social posts show up in search results. So don't negate the content. The content actually is a searchable part for SEO. So when somebody's searching for, let's say in this example here of the Fireplace X, that maybe that product, and using the words here, rip out and reinstall, or artisan front, floor to ceiling stonework. Maybe somebody's searching for that, and when they search those keyword combinations, what will come up in the search results could potentially be your Facebook link to that post. So social is important for the customer, but it's also important for the search engines to find you and to connect your prospective customers with your company. As I mentioned before about the Google My Business, you actually will receive email announcements saying, well done, your post got so many views. This is a conversion, guys. This is great. It shows how many people actually looked at it. Now, did those people then convert, go down through the funnel and become a sale? Maybe, maybe not. But there's ways that we're going to talk about that you can kind of qualify that and find out as you go for your return on investment. Also, Facebook shows conversions. So if you have your Facebook page and you are an administrator on your Facebook page, if you go into the tools in the back of your admin access, it will show you what specific posts that you had, how many people were reached, what was the engagement meaning that they did something. It didn't just reach them and they saw it. They actually maybe clicked, they shared, they commented, they, whatever it is. But there was some type of an engagement. And what was that date? This is another great way to track conversions. And of course, if you use, I highly recommend Facebook for advertising, for prospecting. It's like direct mail, but online. And it is a great opportunity to qualify certain audiences based on the post that you're putting out there. In this example here, obviously you've got the main demographic information, but it also has an opportunity to exclude maybe renters. Maybe you don't want to reach out to renters because they won't be able to add an outdoor fireplace. And the information that is populated here through Facebook, and it's kind of scary, they do stalk you, of course, and they do listen, by the way, is that if you've not just what your prospective customer has done as far as like their own posts, but also if they've liked a friend's post or they saw an ad on something and they clicked on it. Have you ever done that where you actually have either said something or you clicked on something or you viewed something for a long period of time because you were reading it and then now you're getting bombarded by advertising? Welcome to social media advertising. That's exactly how that happens. And so what it does is it takes that information of, oh, they were interested in an outdoor fireplace. They're interested in home decor. They're interested in, even down to if you like HGTV or certain publications that you actually follow or you clicked on something that was supported by it. Now that information is collected around each individual person, and then that's what is used in the Facebook advertising. Basically, this is your list qualifier. So you can identify who you want to reach. You can identify based on radius. You can identify based on zip codes. And you then just can set up the number of days you want it to run, and it's very affordable. So obviously, you can set whatever your budget is, and then how many days that it would run. Ideally, you want it to run at least a week, but maybe it's just something for a weekend sale that you just want to get out there on a Thursday night and then have it run until Sunday. So Facebook advertising is also a great opportunity in that awareness stage. And by the way, don't forget, you can boost posts. So a post that you put out there you see has a lot of engagement. You can boost that through advertising. You don't have to just create ads. But when you are creating ads, don't forget your co-op dollars. It is such a shame that I see many dealers out there who leave so many dollars on the table at the end of the year, and manufacturers are offering you to help your advertising or the awareness stage. So don't forget your co-op, but just make sure that you're following their guidelines in the advertising that you do, so that they will qualify that or accept that. Once you have the advertising out there, whether it's a boosted post or an event that you've boosted or an advertisement that you've created for co-op purposes, obviously you also get results and analytics with that as well. The reaches, the clicks, how much you spent. And then obviously if you are submitting it to the manufacturer for co-op, you can print out that report of how many people did it reach is what they need to know, how much did you spend, and they'll need a copy or a screenshot of what your advertisement looked like, so that it has to name the brand, and also obviously don't forget to include your company name in there too. It can be co-branded and be accepted for co-op. This is an example of Google advertising. So we're moving away from social and now we're looking into SEM or search engine marketing. This is also a great way for advertising online. Some people don't believe that it's effective. It is not effective for some and very effective for others. It just depends on your market and how crowded the marketplace is, because it is on a bidding system. So the amount of money you spend in your Google advertising is based on the number of clicks and how popular those keywords are. So obviously fireplace is going to be a very popular keyword here this fall. But gas fireplace insert would be the next, because it's a little bit more specific, but not everybody uses it. So the more qualified and narrow you get with your keywords, the more affordable it can be, but you want to make sure that you're reaching everybody too. So it is a game that is played with a budget, but you can go to advertising companies and say, this is what I have, what can I get for it in Google advertising? And these are also co-opable, everybody. So as long as you follow the guidelines of the manufacturers, you can include your logo and the manufacturer's logo in there, and make sure that their name is mentioned in the advertising content and an image of their product. And then you can submit that in reports as well. There's been since COVID, there's been a 30% increase in millennials and Gen Z online purchases, which is another reason why we are having this conversation today about selling online. Because people are out there and they're wanting to buy online, as you've experienced over the last few months. So now's a great time to maybe try Google advertising. And also it's a great opportunity then to direct people then back to your website to fill out forms and to view more projects and videos and things. In your Google advertising, a conversion is actually, I'll show you here in a second. You can see that it will show up in the reports what a conversion is. A conversion is considered whether somebody fills out a form from a specific link that they went to on your website and or to a specific page on your website. So if you were, this is if you wanted to submit your advertising to the manufacturers for co-op, you'll see that the report then shows the clicks. Obviously, you'll also see something that's not shown on this report, the impressions, but it's not just clicks. You're more interested in those conversions, because the number of clicks does not necessarily mean those are the number of people that actually filled out a form. You want them to have an action. So Google advertising is in step one here of awareness, but it also it kind of blends into this next step, which is interest, because people are going to start to do something to show that interest. One other example, if you were to submit for co-op, you want to show your report of how many clicks you had, what the cost was, and also images of what those ads look like when you submit it to the manufacturer for your co-op reimbursement. And finally, in awareness is email marketing. There has been a 25% rise in open rates post-COVID in comparison to a previous 5 to 10%. People obviously are at home, they're on their computers, and they're actually reading emails. They're using email more. so to communicate. So embrace that with your company and with your sales team, and do more email marketing. Make sure that when you do that, you are being specific and you're including links. Then use it as like a teaser, kind of like social media, where you tease them with a little bit of information and then have a read more or a link back to your website to read more and see more. Those are inbound links back to your website, which helps with your search engine optimization. And also it's sending people to the page and then more information that they want. They don't want to just sit there. We still have that people are either skimmers or they're readers. And so they'll still skim through, and they don't want to read paragraphs and paragraphs on your email messages, but they do maybe want to read a little bit and then click to learn more and then go back to your website to see more of that information. But have a good balance between sentences, paragraphs, and bullets, because you do want to make sure that you're reaching those skimmers and those readers. Oh, there was one other step, direct mail. Can't forget about direct mail. Direct mail is not dead, and it is very successful in the hearth industry. Again, more people are working from home, and again, post-COVID, people are excited. They're gonna go out to their mailbox and see what's in their mailbox for the day. Now, we are not at the same environment that we were in March and April and May, but people are out more now, but it is still actually has increased, the B2C, business to consumer mail. But make sure you're being specific about who you're mailing and why you're mailing them. So make sure the list is important. The 3 stages that we usually say that's important in a direct mail piece to be successful is the list, the message, and then obviously any kind of promotion or offer. Make it unique. And again, it's co-opable opportunity. If you have been in a neighborhood and you just installed a fireplace, and then you know that there's 100 other homes that probably have the same age of home with the same type of fireplace in that home, that is a perfect opportunity for direct mail. Show a picture of the project that you just recently did. If you want to include the customer's testimonial, that's great. If the customer does not want to be included in it, that's okay too. Use a picture as for co-op purposes of a manufacturer's product. And include their logos. And it doesn't have to be that they'll come in and say, hey, I got this mailer, I want this exact fireplace. That's then the job of your sales staff to explain, okay, well, let's talk about what is in your home and what would be the best type of product, hearth product for your home. So it's kind of also an opportunity as a lead, but then also give them a unique landing page to come to schedule an appointment, maybe for an in-home consultation, or to schedule a virtual consultation, or to schedule a time to come into your showroom where you can kind of explain what your COVID policy is in the showroom and how you're being, your showroom and your staff are being safe for them to come in and have that face-to-face meeting. So direct mail in targeted neighborhoods is a great opportunity in that awareness stage. Now we're moving into interest. I told you, the first part was going to be a lot. Now we're going to get into the interest stage. And the interest is now it's on your target audience to actually get engaged, to engage you in some way, or engage your sales staff in some way. So look into chat features. There was a presentation earlier in the summer, and Talk.to is Talk.to is a free WordPress plugin. So if you have a WordPress website, that's a great opportunity to add chat to your website, and it does allow for, it does remove automatically during specific hours, so you can set up those hours. But the reason chat is so awesome for your prospective customer is because consumers want convenience and they want responsiveness. They want somebody to answer them. Again, I'm going to talk about email in a little bit, but they want that interaction. If they're going to be interested, they want somebody to reply to them, and chat gives them that opportunity. There are different types of ways you can do chat. You can do chat where you can kind of qualify a little bit and ask specific questions before you actually talk to them. Especially, this is also a good time to put this on your site when after hours. So if there isn't somebody available to chat with them, or who's hanging by the computer waiting for a chat to come through, this is a good time to put up some questions and to kind of ask a little bit more. And when they submit it, then it goes to whoever is designated in your office. Maybe it's your sales team, maybe it's an office manager to answer those questions right away. Also, Facebook has opportunities for chat. So if you don't know how to update your website or don't have a web developer who can help you add a chat to your website, you can do it through Facebook as well. And so Facebook has the opportunity for messaging, and you have the option also to set certain days and certain times that you would respond, and also to ask specific questions to help qualify then too. So don't forget about using your social media platform if you need to, and you don't have the opportunity on your website. But I would recommend putting a chat on your website before Facebook, but you could also do both. That'd be good too. Make sure you're hitting everybody. Social media platforms are also good for opportunities to kind of put out there, make sure that you are seen as the credible source, that you are the expert in the field by whether it's a blog post or it's a video that you add. Again, we want to try to put the videos on YouTube. Ideally, if you can set up a YouTube channel, and then it gives you an embed code that then can go back and embed into your website. Then you would go onto your Facebook page and you would say, hey, check out my new video. I'm featuring and explaining the difference between a stove and or a fireplace and an insert. Or what is is a stove, or is an insert a stove? So things like that people kind of, the homeowner who doesn't understand necessarily, you're teaching them some of the terminology, and then they get to know you and they get more comfortable with you and they see you as the expert. And then send them back to the page on your website to learn more, to watch that video, to schedule a video chat. Facebook Live is also a good opportunity to kind of have that, and then it's on your profile page, and you can send people back to a website, specific landing page on your website to read more or learn more. Adding forms and questionnaires on your website helps with that interest stage because it helps to qualify them a little bit more. Don't just use your contact form website or contact us page form that you want to, that most people have out there just to kind of start an email. You want to ask them some questions. For example, is this a first time purchase, or are you upgrading or replacing something? Are you interested, what's your project timeline? Are you interested in starting the project right away, in a few weeks, in a few months? And what type of, are you looking just for a product price, or are you looking for the price of the product and installation? It helps your sales team to know a little bit more before they make that outbound call and get into the decision stage. They kind of know who they're talking to and what they're dealing with first. And actually, if you keep the information, the balance of the number of fields or the number of questions, kind of brief and to the point, ask just a few and then their contact information. Require always the email address, and you can require the phone number, but sometimes people still want to just kind of keep you at arm's length. So just asking for just the email sometimes is just enough. But give enough information to your customer or to your sales team so that they understand a little bit more before they start that outbound call. Another opportunity is to add an upload. Encourage the prospective customer to take a picture of their current fireplace or the space in their home that they want to add a fireplace to or a stove. And then they can drag and drop or upload those images to your website. You can even qualify and find out what the zip code, where are you for availability of specific products. Maybe you don't, or this is also good for the service side, where you want to kind of make sure that you're not starting a relationship with somebody that's out of your reach, and then have to tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I don't service your area, or I don't install in your area. So that's a good opportunity to help qualify the leads who are actually nearby where you can service them. And then also ask them, maybe if you can, how would you like us to contact you? Phone, email, text, any and all. Give it an opportunity for people to select multiple. And when would you like us to contact you? Is it best in the morning, afternoon, evening? So these qualifications help. And if you do have in your forms a drop down for different departments within your within your company, make sure that those forms then, if they choose, let's say, service and in-home consultation or parts and service, that those submissions of those forms are going to the right people who are responsible for those leads within your company. So make sure those email addresses are, unless it is just one person who's filtering all those leads and then distributing them. Add promos and coupons. There are so many promo plugins out there that are available where you can actually schedule the time that a promo is going to start and when it's going to end. I wonder how many of you have actually had a promotion maybe on your website and it's already expired and somebody calls on it and says, well, it's on your website, so you need to honor it. There's also great opportunities to do something fun like a countdown for a specific sale or a specific offer that's happening. That countdown clicker that's actually, can be added to your promotion. And create promotions that are for specifically, as we talked about earlier, unique to the advertising source. So you can track them, or people still like to print and bring in tangible coupons in paper. Give them kind of the visual of that and make it attractive and something fun, to use and to bring in and make them feel that they are getting some kind of special offer. You can also promote these on social media with a link then back to that promotion page. So it's inbound link from Facebook or Instagram, and then when they get on that page on your website, that's where they can download that form or that coupon. But try to see if you can get some information from them first before you just give them that offer. Ask them for a phone number, ask them for their email address, so you get that information from them first. You can follow up later and not just give away the store so quickly, so to speak. Add price ranges. Oh, this is tough. Some people don't like to do this, but ranges is good. And sometimes actually it helps to qualify those tire kickers from those serious prospects. And it also kind of might actually, help the prospective customer feel a little bit more like you're communicating and they can trust you a little bit because you're being transparent with how much you charge, but maybe be more specific as to, okay, these are the price ranges within specific zip codes or within our area, and include not just maybe the manufactured images, but also some images of some projects that you actually completed using that project. And a testimonial from the customer, if that's possible, because the testimonials, of course, everybody only has good testimonials and reviews on their website. That's okay. The humans know this, the search engines don't. The search engines see and read those testimonials and those reviews as they're written, layman's terms, as a prospect would maybe search. So include testimonials when you get a chance, or pictures of your work in a gallery or in a portfolio, because that also helps. But then give them an idea of how much it's going to cost to have this done. So then they kind of know if they are ready to do it now or later, and you're not wasting your sales team time if they're just tire kicking. Also, if you do include pricing on your website in certain products, it could qualify then for Google Shop advertising. Have you ever searched online and then you unfortunately see, Amazon or eBay or even the guy down the street, who has the exact same product and they're showing what the price is. So this, if you do put pricing on there, it will maybe give you an opportunity to kind of be competitive in that Google Shop area in the search results. Give them options. It's awesome to kind of qualify and see in the interest stage who's interested to buy now and who just wants to learn more. So for example, if you have a WordPress site, you can add WooCommerce or Shopify, which can be connected to your merchant services or PayPal. And there might be certain products that you're willing to actually sell and convert right there on your website and sell. There might be more of it's a product that you actually they just want to learn more. So if they learn more and they click learn more, they go to the page on the website that actually gives more information about that product. And they still have the opportunity to add to the cart and to convert to a sale there. Or if it's not a product that you necessarily want to sell financially, through merchant services, you can actually have it be a request more information. There's also many programs out there. Your manufacturers, certain manufacturers have them. There are also other marketing companies like us that offer these programs that are project builder programs. People want to get engaged. They like playing online. Everybody wants to be the designer. So they want to kind of get into the visual of it all. But keep in mind, think like a consumer. They're not going to know all the parts that have to go with a fireplace. So make sure that when you're doing your project builder, you're including just the stuff that they know. Maybe it's the surround, maybe it's a mantle, maybe it's accessories, maybe it's the glass, choosing glass or logs, or choosing specific colors, giving them the option to kind of start and create their own project, and then give them the opportunity to kind of explain what they are thinking that they really want in this project. And then when you have that interest and they submit that interest to you, include a kind of a questionnaire of, well, are you adding a fireplace to a blank wall of a room, or do you have, or is it an existing fireplace? What type of fuel are you interested in? And notice I have in the forms here, it says optional. Don't put too many required fields. You want to give them the opportunity, and especially if they're building a project, they want to kind of get involved. They're going to give it, you all their information as much as they have already. So a lot of people, want to know, a lot of dealers want to know specific sizes, like the width of a fireplace opening or the height of the fireplace opening. Give them the chance to add that information in there. Also, like, what's your decor style? Are you traditional? Are you contemporary? And then once they submit that interest, now that's a warm lead. That's something that can move. Now my sales team we can move this prospect into the decision stage. And by the way, it's not just for products, for the retail side of it. There's also for service. In chimney, there's just so many terminology that customer or homeowners don't know about. So give them an opportunity to educate them on your services and what does that mean with pictures. A gallery doesn't have to just show your before and after pictures of a new product that you've installed, but it also can show your service side. What's involved in an annual maintenance? What happens with when you say that I have to have a chimney repointing or a crown repair? Give them opportunities to kind of see visually, but also to read, and bullets, as you see here, a little bit of text to read, and then for the skimmers, the bullets, but always include, as you see on the right side here, a form to fill out to request information to. Now you want them to move from that interest to decision stage by actually filling out a form and giving your sales staff their contact information. So now we're in decision stage. All right, we've got somebody who was aware of us. They're interested. They're not going to jump right into a sale yet, but we want to kind of develop that relationship. So decision, I like to say, is kind of that bridge between interest and sales. It's also an opportunity for your sales team. This is where your sales team can shine. With the information they've gathered from the interest stage, now they can start to develop that relationship. Best way to do that is email marketing. Right now, there's so many opportunities in many different CRM programs out there that can do some of that automation while it looks personalized, but then still give your sales team an opportunity to send personalized email communications. So let's maybe look into some of these CRM tools that are available to do some of the heavy work for your sales staff, but then give them more of an opportunity to really build those relationships instead of like, oh my gosh, I have to just set a whole day aside just to make phone calls and leave messages with people. Maybe that initial email is an initial conversation that's actually running in the background while they're contacting the real hot leads. These CRM programs use what's called workflows or journeys, and it automates specific emails. But these emails you want to make sure are personalized to your company, and think about it through the process of if you were the consumer receiving them. You might have seen these in many different companies use these already. You'll see follow-ups from Home Depot and some of the big chains where they tease you with cross-marketing, or here's a special sale for the day. You can do this with your sales team as well. They're behavior-based and they can be scheduled, and dynamic content means that it can be specific. It can pull from those forms that was filled out on your website to say that they were interested in a gas grill. And so the email automatically populates the person's name and the product that they were interested in from the form that was on the page of that product page. So it's so smart. And so these behavior-based workflows work as if the email is sent out initially. If after a couple of days, the recipient, prospective customer, doesn't open it, then they get a follow-up that says, hey, just wanted to make sure you saw our email, da, da, da. Or if they opened it, but they didn't click on anything within the email, then it'd be like, hey, just wanted to see if you got our email. You don't want to say, hey, I saw you opened it, but you didn't click. There's many ways that you want to make sure that you're kind of creating that message that is behavior-based, but is touching them and staying in the forefront so that that warmly doesn't turn cold. Obviously, you want to thank you. If somebody fills out the form on your website, then it automatically sends out a generating thank you very much email. But you want to make sure that you include a call to action, not just a thank you and it's done. The thank you confirms with the recipient that you received it, but the call to action then, while you have their attention, link it back to some other place on the website. Maybe it's information about a salesperson. Maybe it is to your catalog page of your website. Maybe it's to a video about the specific product. So make sure that you don't just send out just a thank you email. Put some type of action opportunity with it. You can also do those automatic touches if no action happens initially, just a couple days later, to not kind of stalk them, but just to stay relevant. And so that might be maybe kind of a follow-up saying, hey, why should you choose us? And here's a testimonial. And this is why we love this brand. Because that information then helps to reaffirm that they are doing the right thing by their interests. They're not just stopping. We're developing that relationship and confirming that they are choosing your company because you are the best one to choose. And then you've got that personalized message. It can be dynamic. It can be customized. You can also allows for your sales team to add, maybe it was a specific part of the conversation that they had with the prospect, just to show it's authentic. But you want to make sure when you have that personalized message go out in the email follow-up that it has some type of action to date. You want them to respond quickly by a specific, you want this to drag out. You want it to have kind of some conclusion as we hold their hand to the sales stage. So you want it to be a little bit more aggressive. You want to include your picture of the salesperson in there, their specific contact information, and the hours that they work. Put that in there because you want that prospect to know if they contact Shannon, she's going to be there at that specific time so that we can keep this project moving and move into that sales stage. Also, in the decision stage, let your website be a marketing resource for your sales team. They've got a customer on the phone. Find an easy way for them if they wanted to talk about a specific product or I advise the prospective customer to go onto the website and go to the brand page or go to a search bar where you can actually say, okay, customer, why don't you type in Cozy Heat or, a Napoleon gas grill. And as they type that in, then it brings them to that specific page while the prospect is at their home in front of their computer or in front of their phone, and your salesperson is in front of your website advising them how to quickly get to the same page so that they can talk about the product. Also allow for videos, as we talked earlier about how important videos are. But this might be an opportunity to say, hey, as a salesperson, hey, prospective customer, I've got a video that can explain exactly what this Napoleon robe does. So check it out. Look for it go to the Napoleon brand on my webpage, or search for Napoleon Rogue XT, and it will bring up that product page information to learn more. Also allow for downloadable brochures. Your manufacturers have put so much time and energy into these PDFs with brochures. They're not always up to date, but they're available, and it does give the homeowner a little bit more information, and it's a good resource for your service team as well as your sales staff. So put that on your website as well as linkable resources to check out for an owner's manual that they can download, or that you can share in an email. A salesperson can share in an email. And finally, we're here. We made it. We went through the awareness, all the different advertising. You've got somebody who's interested. You've developed, the sales team has developed a relationship and is working on that decision side, and now they're willing to make the sale. So what is that sales conversion? What is that commitment? That commitment can be an appointment. It can be a bookable opportunity. Put on your website a bookable plugin or program that people can choose a date or choose a time. If your service team does not want to release that information or that ability of the customer to make their own schedule, then make it generic. Have them pick their best day or the best time range, or multiple options that are available. This is also a great opportunity to ask, what's the best, what do you feel more comfortable with, especially post-COVID? Virtual phone call, an in-showroom consultation, or to commit to the project, or do you want us to come in home? There's a lot of people willing, ironically, to let people in their homes for in-home consultations. So figure out when that is. That can be considered a scheduled conversion. And there's a lot of ways you can offer that on your website, and it doesn't have to be specific date and time. As I mentioned, it can be customized. So, find a web developer who can help you do that. Also, it could be project execution. Give them an opportunity to either email them the quote so that they can sign, DocuSign, or they can scan the document into and upload it, from their computer or their phone to upload it into your website. And of course, there's the financial transaction. You can have whether it's paid service appointment, maybe it's a deposit for a project execution. So even though you don't want to sell and have somebody pay thousands of dollars through your website for the fireplace installation and product and design, maybe it's just a deposit that is going to be the transaction on your website. And there are many different payment gateways out there that can work with your merchant service providers. So we've gone through the awareness, interest, decision, and sales stage, and talked about how you can use your website to help your sales team as a tool to take that prospective customer from the advertising stage to the converted customer stage. Now they're not just a prospect, they're a customer. And it's pretty easy to do, and I highly recommend using your website as your most important marketing tool to help you get those conversions and to have a very profitable and successful hearth season. Does anybody have any questions? How do we do on time? I don't have a clock.
Yeah, you're right there, Shannon, right on time.
Oh, good. Okay.
I mean, but I think we have time for a question or two if people have them, but if not, you can always reach out to Shannon or even to HPBA, and we can put you in touch with Shannon and help answer any questions you might have.
Thanks for the opportunity, Emily. I hope, like I said, that everybody learned something new. And I hope that it gave them some tips, good tips to help them be successful this hearth season.
And thank you, Shannon, and thank you all for joining us today. And like I said, a recording of this webinar will be on the website probably by tomorrow, which is all depends on workload. And so we will share that with our members. And if you wanted to see it again, we will go from there. And actually somebody just asked about a copy of this webinar, and So hopefully that answered their question, that you will be able to find it on the HPBA website probably tomorrow. Aside from that, I want to thank everybody again, and we will talk with you soon. Thank you.
Stay healthy, everybody. Have a good day.